That was not fun. That was not fun at all, and I want to have a fun time while dyeing my hair, not sitting there feeling like my hair is going to lose its curl pattern because I put something on it, which I know it wouldn't, because it's just semi-permanent dye and it doesn't have a chemical reaction. But yeah, I don't think the tingling is supposed to happen.
Welcome to another dyeing my hair video. I received this package in the mail. I did already cut this, so now it's time to open it and see what's inside. And look, they have a little invoice slip with the, it says thank you with the little alien here, because this is from Cosmic Void. In the box, we have the dye. We have this little cute keychain. Let me just take everything out one at a time. So here are batteries. We've got a little alien guide that's both a little light and a keychain. There's, I think, a sticker here that you can put on something. There's also a pen light. So let's open this. And we would put batteries in this, which I will do in just a moment. And then, of course, the star of the show, the color. And it is a clear UV reactive dye. Also came in this nice glittery little packaging there. It has the ingredients, and of course it has the warning, do a patch test before coloring hair in case of allergic reaction, wear suitable gloves, do not ingest, etc, etc, etc. This is a clear UV reactive hair dye. They do make UV reactive hair dyes in lots of different colors. This brand does it, as well as, I believe, Manic Panic, Lunar Tides, Underground Cosmetics, Chroma Daddy, and Arctic Fox. But I didn't want to mess with the color I currently have going on. It's this nice purple, as you can see, and it's more blue purple on the side, it's more red purple on this side. As I wash it more, the color will fade a little bit more, so when I go to put this over, it should stick pretty good. I'm not sure how well it will stick to virgin hair. I know Arctic Fox sticks pretty good to virgin hair for a few washes, but it'll be interesting to see this, and this should stick in my already colored hair for a little bit of time. I want to definitely test this out, see how it works, and then come back with the results. But first, since this is a new dye that I have not tried out before, we definitely have to do the patch test. So we're gonna go ahead and take this duct tape off, just to, make sure nothing happened. And then here we go. That's what it's looking like. And we're just gonna squeeze just a little bit off the top here. Close this up again. Put it back in the box, it'll be safe in there. And then I'm just gonna put a little bit like right here in the crease of my elbow. And then usually you have to let that sit for 24 hours. So for me, the easiest way to put a dye on and let it sit for 24 hours without having it brush against anything is to just simply put a Band-Aid on it. And especially if you're using colored pigments, this is a great way to not have like a random stain on your arm. So I'm just gonna go ahead, cover that. And we're gonna see after 24 hours how that looks. I think I'll be totally fine. I haven't had any other issues. I've used Care, Arctic Fox, Ion, and then of course there were a couple different shades that I got done at the salon, and I've never had any issues with hair color, but it does not hurt to do a little patch test to be on the safe side. Here's the pen light. I went ahead and put the batteries in. Here it is on, and this is kind of in a dark box, so if we shine it in here, it looks like it's glowing pretty good. It'd be best seen in a dark room. So there we go, that looks like that's glowing. Anything white is gonna glow too, but you can see how this is a different glow than that. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that looks when that's on the hair. And of course we'll check the spot on my arm after 24 hours and see if that glows as well. This is neat because they allowed you to buy the pen light with the dye. That way you can test the UV even if you don't have some place you can go that it's going to have a black light. I do have somewhere I can go that has a black light, which is the whole reason I got the dye, and I'm really excited to show what it's going to look like because I'm going to keep the color I have. I don't want to repigment it with new color. I just want to add the clear over it, and then we will see how long it lasts on both the pigmented hair and my virgin hair.
It's wash day and it's time to dye my hair. The color has been doing pretty good. It's starting to fade a little bit right here at the edges, which is really interesting. The color just, I guess, didn't latch on super well here. But that's fine because we're gonna put the clear over it anyway. I am not looking to refresh this color just yet. I would like to let it fade a little bit more before I do that. But it has faded just enough that I think it'll really stick when I put the clear on it so that I get the UV color. Had it in these kind of like little braid twists for a couple days. And you can see the color is still pretty vibrant. This is just residue from this. I knew I was going to wash my hair today, so I just put that in just to keep my hair nice and neat in this bun before washing it. This is a really easy way to break it up. I just use my Dove Bond Serum. I really love this. I've been using it for quite some time. So you just put this on, and everywhere where it's tacky, you just smooth it in. And normally if I'm not ready to wash my hair yet, I'll do this at night before I go to bed. When I get up in the morning, my hair is so soft and the residue is gone. Water is not a great way to get some of this stuff off. You can really see the fade here. Oil really helps to break up stuff like this. So you always do oil first, then soap, then water rinses. Never just put water straight on top of something tacky like this. It just does not work. So this is what I would do before I put my shampoo in. The oil is gonna help finish breaking this up, and then I will be washing my hair, and I will see you once my hair is blow dried and ready to start putting the color in. My hair is blow dried partially, and it is now time to apply the dye. First off, putting the gloves on, because even though it's clear, I just don't want it on my hands. I blow dried my hair in these 4 sections, and these are the 4 sections that we are gonna work with when applying the dye. One thing I am going to do before putting any dye on is to just, they say use Vaseline, but I just use grease. Put some grease on my scalp. So it's just because even though, again, it's going to be clear, when the UV light goes on, do I want my skin to all be glowing as well? I don't think so. So we're just gonna go ahead and just put it around here. Just kind of get the very back of my neck, as well as right here in my ear. Now that the grease is applied, it is time to do my hair. Again, here's the Cosmic Void Clear. Pouring it into this bowl. I don't really need the brush, but we're pouring it into this bowl so that we can use it. Here it is. I'm gonna start with this much and see how we do, because I can always add more as we go along. We're starting with this. Just gonna scoop it because you can do that with semi-permanent. Just gonna start by just kind of applying it all around the base and the perimeter of this top layer. Oh, it smells nice. Then we can start with a bottom spot. Take a little bit, work it in. After I shampooed my hair, I did not condition it. That way, when I am adding this, there's no barrier between the dye and my hair, and it can just go on, and I'm just kind of smoothing as well as squeezing it into my hair. I detangled my hair before I shampooed it, and so it is coming through pretty nicely here. When I blow dried, I did the tension method, so everything has just kind of been nice and elongated. It is common advice to kind of comb the conditioner through your hair, but my hair will not tolerate that. Even though it's detangled, it will not be happy if I try to comb it. So this is the way we're doing it, just like if I were doing a wash and go. kind of has a little bit of a grape scent. It reminds me a little bit of Arctic Fox, which has that Concord grape smell, but this one has kind of a like a cherry as well, like a nice little sweet pop rock smell almost. Okay. And I think that is firmly in there. When you hear like a little squishy squish, that means all of your hair is done. I think it is all nice and coated. So we will put it up, get on to the next section. What's interesting about this is it does say it can be applied to wet or dry hair, and as I said, I lightly blow dry it. I can feel touching it right now. It's still a little bit damp. So I think I'm gonna get some really good results. It is technically a diluter, and it does say it can be used as a conditioner for touch-ups in between dye jobs. So with it being technically a diluter here, that means that it can be used to make other colors lighter or more pastel-y. So they're not expecting you to use this on its own the way I'm using it. I've only seen one other person use this just on its own like this, and it was a short, and I will try to link it below if I can find it. But I thought the effect looked so cool. So it's gonna be interesting to see how this sticks to the virgin parts of my hair, because I think it'll stick fine to the parts that already have dye on them, because it faded even a little bit more after this last shampoo that I did. I'm gonna put some more of this in because we're starting to run out a little bit here. Like it's not saturated enough on the bottom. There we go. You can tell when it's really saturated when it is doing this. It's so odd to see color go on but not see any color happen. This is a really trust the process type of thing. Anytime I see it's like puffy, that means I haven't coated it enough to really get everything. And since I'm not combing it through, I have to make sure I put enough product on for it to really sit. It's like, now we've got it. And the way some people will do it, if they're using the brush, they'll paint one side, then flip over and paint the other side. I'm just taking a glob and going down both sides at the same time, which I think is a fun way to do it. Normally I would blow dry my hair with a little bit of conditioner in it, like a leave-in conditioner, maybe even a touch of grease, but I did not want to risk anything blocking the dye from getting onto the strands, especially since there is no color payoff and I cannot see how well it is saturating aside from just my hair going from being puffy to being drenched in product. I guess there's kind of like a little bit of a white cast, but that did mean that my hair, because there's no conditioner on it except for this now, that means it is sticking together a little bit, and that's another reason to blow dry it with the tension method so that I'm not having any tangles as I'm working through it. Alrighty, we are all done. This is how much I have left after filling that little tub 4 times. And so this was originally an 8.5 ounce packet, and let's see, it looks like I used up at least 2/3 of it. I would definitely have to add a second packet if I wanted to do this again, but just for one go around, the 8.5 worked pretty good, and I can always just apply it to just like front parts of my hair and things like that. It does say for best results and increased accuracy, use a handheld UV light while dyeing, but I didn't have the dexterity to be able to prop up the light and dye my hair at the same time. So we're just going in blind here. We're gonna see what happens. I think it's gonna look pretty cool regardless. It says leave on for desired amount of time and thoroughly rinse. So our desired amount of time usually is about an hour for me, and then I'll come back when it's all rinsed out and we'll see what it's looking like. We are rinsed, we are glowy. You can see it managed to get all on the wall behind me. Somehow, when I was rinsing it out, it got all on my eyelashes, everything. And I'm so glad that I did a little patch test before, because I did the patch test and it was actually over a 1-inch square section, and I didn't have any reaction, and my hairs on my arm actually glowed for a couple days afterward and nothing happened to them. Because when I put this on, my skin started tingling like crazy. Like you can even still see my ears a little bit red here and here. This one's a little bit better, but I scrubbed so hard at that, just trying to get that off my skin. And I'm so glad that I didn't have an allergic reaction before, because that let me know that the tingling is just, I got too much of it on my skin and my skin didn't like that. I don't know whether it's the reaction in the UV or whether it's the scent, because it could be, you know, if you're allergic to perfume, and my skin is sensitive to weird things. So, you know, my complexion looks okay. I'm not like getting super red or anything. And usually I keep this on for a full hour, maybe more, but I got to 50 minutes. I was like, I have to rinse this out, because if you've ever had a relaxer, it felt exactly like having a relaxer on my scalp. Like, no thank you. I haven't felt that in over 15 years, and I don't want to feel like I have relaxer. I'm sure for people who mess around with color and do bleach, it probably feels like having bleach tingling on your scalp, but you know, I'm tugging my hair, nothing's happening to it. And like I said, I had already done the patch test, so I know I'm not allergic, but I do not think we will be using this dye again for that reason, because it wasn't fun sitting there with it tingling. And my scalp feels totally fine now that I rinsed it out, but yeah, we are not doing that again on my scalp. Now, the little bit of color that I have left, sure, I might use it again at some point and just kind of maybe start like a 1/2 inch from the scalp and then come down. And I'm so glad I wore gloves. Like, oh my goodness, because my hands, if you go back through some of my old videos, you can see sometimes in the winter where my hands were like just really struggling, and I think they would have been really, really, really upset if I had just done this without using anything. So like I said, we are glowy, it's on. I'm super excited to wear it out, and it'll look really good when it's dry. However, I want to do a really super cool style, so that is the next part of this video. My hair feels fine. It doesn't really feel as conditioned as like if I use Arctic Fox. My hair feels amazing. The Ion color conditioners I've used don't really feel the greatest, so it feels better than that. My scalp feels so much better now that I rinsed that off. So again, flashbacks to having relaxer on my head, that was not fun. That was not fun at all, and I want to have a fun time while dyeing my hair, not a sitting there feeling like my hair is going to lose its curl pattern because I put something on it, which I know it wouldn't, because it's just semi-permanent dye and it doesn't have a chemical reaction. But yeah, I don't think the tingling is supposed to happen. For the next part of this video, I'm going to be adding some leave-in to my hair, because like I said, my hair just does not feel super conditioned. I would add leave-in anyway, but Arctic Fox just makes my hair feel really nice. And I've tried, like I said, a bunch of different hair dye brands, and Cosmic Void is probably fine for what it's supposed to be for. It's a diluter, it's a clear, you're supposed to add it to other dyes, but I probably wouldn't try another dye from them if that's what all their hair dyes feel like. I am gonna start by greasing my scalp along the part line, kind of come down the middle. It's not perfectly centered, but that's a-okay because I don't need it to be for what I am doing. So we'll start there, and then I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do the perimeters too, because my scalp was so unhappy with that dye sitting on it. Like I said, I don't think I would do that again. I just have to be careful. Just don't put the dye on my skin. I've never put bleach on my scalp because I know that my skin would not be happy. I've watched videos where people are doing on-scalp application and they do have gentle on-scalp bleaches, but no, not for me, not for my scalp. And now I know, not with this hair dye either. I'm gonna part my hair with my 3-way mirror off camera, and then I will come back and we'll get on to the next part. It's starting to come together. I mean, imagine how cool this is going to look when it's all standing up. But it has to totally dry first. So what I need to do is, first of all, braid my hair down, because I really love the Mohawk style, and I have a couple other videos on my channel of me trying it. And for me, it's a faux hawk because there's no way that I'm shaving my sides. But what I can do is braid it down to give the illusion of the sides being short, and then I leave the middle long. However, I don't want to wear a Mohawk for 3 days. It's just not what I want to do. So I'm going to prepare my Mohawk on the day that I want to wear it. To prepare for that, I have to braid up my hair first, so it's all ready. So I will show you what I'm going to do when I get to the point where I'm going to do what I need to do. I got this whole middle sectioned out. So we have a nice clean line here. We've got this clean line in the back. I'm gonna take the Design Essentials Curl Forming Custard. This has been one of my day one staples. And I'm just gonna put it on the ends, because that way as I am braiding, it's going to allow me to work through the hair. I don't want to put it at the roots or else it won't stick the way I need it to, but putting it at the ends allows me to separate the hair as I am going along, which is pretty important when you're braiding. We're going to start with this little section. Number one, because it is a Mohawk, but number two, because I have a widow's peak, just like one of my favorite characters, Vegeta. I like to always forego a middle part. I do not love having a middle part because it just looks so weird. So I was like to put a braid right in the middle. Now this braid is going to be thicker, but it's going to go with what eventually I'm going to do. So let's see if I can do it. Yay, that's that middle section done, and it looks really good. The more cornrow, the better I get at it. It's a little crooked, but that's okay. And notice it's kind of bigger and then it gets a little narrower in the middle. That is on purpose. Now it's time for some more sectioning, and I will be back to work on the sides once I've got them sectioned out. It took me about 30 minutes to do all this parting, which is why for me, this is a very elaborate, time-consuming style that I would not do often. That's why the last time I did it was 3 years ago. But I think this first braid came out pretty well. It's already drying, which is nice. I think we're gonna start on this side, And then we're gonna do this side and then this side and just kind of work my way up the head like this. And I'm gonna pin this one out of the way so I know I'm not doing this guy just yet. It's actually this one. It's the same process as before, and I only have a little bit of hair in this one, so it shouldn't take me too long. I'm just taking a little bit and coating the ends, because that's all I really need so that the ends stay detangled while I'm working on braiding everything. I try not to get too much on my roots because then it's hard to grip the hair, and that's difficult.
I really liked how this turned out. I ended up with 9 braids in total, 1 middle braid and 4 braids on each side. After I finished the braiding, I added some serum so that my braids wouldn't be crunchy as they were drying from the gel, and I'll probably put some more on as we go through the next couple days just to keep it from getting too crispy. I did forget to grease my scalp before braiding up the rest of my braids, but I added it afterward, and as the days go on and this style evolves, the grease will end up getting worked through my scalp. Following is a sneak preview of what my hair looks like under the black light. After a couple of days, it was time to take out my braids, but not take them out the whole way. I started by clipping up to where I wanted to undo my braids with some barrettes, and those barrettes are going to stay in my hair just to make sure the rest of it doesn't unravel. After that, I undid my braids, and it was just such a beautiful braid out. If I weren't doing another style, I would have kept it as is. I did wear gloves for the braid takedown process because even though the UV is clear, the pigment is still rubbing off all over my hands, and that is visible under the UV light, and I just don't want it to be irritating my hands. The next step after that was totally re-wetting my hair. I did scrunch out a lot of the excess moisture with a towel, but I didn't want to have it be so dry that it dried in a super elongated state, because the key for this style is utilizing shrinkage. With the length of my hair, the FroHawk only really works if my hair shrinks to its shortest form, and that will work better if I don't let it be too stretched while it's drying. So it just has to dry as is, although this is kind of a waiting game because it usually takes about 4-ish hours for my hair to air dry. So I tried not to do this too late in the evening. This is what my hair looked like after drying for a little bit. You can see the back is really shrinking up really well, and it is going to look super awesome. It'll probably get pressed down a little bit overnight after I have it in my bonnet, and then in the morning I'm going to take it out. We're going to see what it's looking like and then do the final style with lots and lots of bobby pins. It's been like 3 hours, almost 4, and my hair was still damp at the roots, so had to hit it with the blow dryer a little bit, because one thing I'm not doing anymore is going to bed with wet hair. And then I think we are where we need to be before shaping it up for tomorrow. After I ran the blow dryer through my hair, popped everything up, kind of just scooped it all up together, put the bonnet on, and this is how I woke up. You can see the vision is coming together. Now, I do have all of these little barrettes in my hair. I'm going to take them out because what I want to do instead is put in some really heavy duty bobby pins. My hair is dried enough that it is not going to unravel. The curl at the end will just stop that from happening. So these are just to kind of set it in place while it was drying, and then I'm good. Okay, I think there's one more. So the first thing is to do the back. I kind of have to squeeze it together. I have these really heavy duty bobby pins. Technically, I think they are roller pins, so they should work pretty good here. Kind of as far back as I can. I'm gonna put the pin in. Yeah, you can already see the shape coming together. What I'm doing right now is just getting the perimeter under control. And it's still long at the front, but we're gonna fix that. 1, 2. Together. It is really looking good so far. Now, I know this part doesn't look the way it's supposed to, and even though this has shrunk as much as it can, I mean, you saw like that this was down here before, but these front pieces are a lot longer than they were the first couple times I did this style, because I had definitely cut my bangs. At one point I had cut them so the longest that they were when stretched was right here, and now that the longest they are when stretched is like down here. So it's definitely going to be a little bit different than before. The next technique is what I like to call my weaving technique. So just to kind of get this to stand up a little bit more, take a bobby pin, just kind of grab, and then we're going to weave it together. And what that does is it just puts the hair where I want it to be. And I think I'll have to kind of pin this part down a little bit. And so it creates the illusion that the hair is standing up by itself, but it's not. But you can't see that because the bobby pins just are swallowed up by my hair, which I love that.
this is looking pretty good. It's staying where I want it to stay. I did this the last time I did a mohawk, and that's just to kind of spray it just a little bit, and that's going to help it just shrink up a little bit further and just have the shape that I want. And then we're going to take the blow dryer just to kind of set everything in place. Just kind of give me that punk look. Okay, I think I'm just gonna kind of pull it back just a touch. So I'm just kind of trying to feel, where is that? And I think that was too much. I'm trying to pull it back so it sits up here a little bit more. I don't know, maybe I should just leave it like this. Okay, there we go. This side, back, forward, because I am going skating later and like I need this to basically stay in place. Feels a little bulky at the back, so I'm going to squeeze these ones together a little bit as well, because with it being hot and humid outside, there's no guarantee that it won't puff up at the back. And I'm trying to maintain the integrity of the shape, you know. Yeah, I think I got it. I think I got it to where it actually looks cool from pretty much every angle, especially the side angle, because it was looking a little strange from the side angle before. And the thing about wearing a mohawk is you just gotta rock it. Plus I have an outfit change coming up. I'm gonna be as careful as possible with getting this over my head and putting on a new top, but it does not hurt to have as much bobby pins in as possible. Now, the final step that I did not do before is to use some hairspray. And again, this is partly because you know, my hair is going to be living as I go out, and especially I am going to be skating later. And when it comes to cool aesthetic hair looks, whether it's perfectly styled curled hair or a look like this, freezing it in place is the most essential thing. And if I were doing a spiked mohawk, it would be a lot of gel. So we don't have gel, but we have hairspray. Of course, my curls are gonna do a lot, as well as the bobby pins, to hold this in place, but the hairspray will help so it's not puffing out and expanding throughout the day, because now that it's in place, it's in place. This is what we got. I think it looks super cute. I think it came out really well despite this being way longer than it was the first time. But I can still do the style, it still works. Shrinkage is still my friend. Got this nice little faux leather bracelet. Does annoy me to have stuff on my wrists when I am playing music, but it's for the sake of the look. I can deal with it for one day. And then these are super cute because they'll make this look elegant, even though it is extremely over the top, but it'll also work well with the style and the outfit change later. There we go. So that is basically the final touches for this outfit. Sneak preview in case I don't get super good footage of it later. And you can tell it's glowing because like, look at my eyebrows. See, they don't glow? There's no dye on them. See how this glows? Yeah.
Here's me at the skating rink. The glow didn't show up super brightly because the lighting isn't super dark there, but I'll put some arrows for when it did glow a little bit, and then of course I'll add some pictures. I'm just doing some fun crossovers. It took me a while to get good at doing these, but now I'm feeling really confident with not falling, plus some other cool moves. It's dark because I'm going to show you the final look. Here we go.
This is the final look, and I think it looks super, 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 super cool. If we come in close here, we can see that parts of it on the side are really reacting really well, like that. That's glowing nicely. And again, you can see that my eyebrows, there's nothing on them, so they're not glowing. So yeah, I would say this experiment was successful, and this outfit looked amazing. Everyone who saw it complimented it. Well, there was an outfit before that, and I'll pop that in as well, and people said it looked really nice, really put together. Some people were wondering if there was a event I was going to. I was like, nah, just kidding, just the normal. So that was my UV experiment. My hair does glow. It does look really, really cool. Final reaction shot here. Punk. Thanks for watching.